Today is January 25th, 2017. I am your host of Feuzion News, Alex Fuse. I am joined right now by Andrew Banas, News Channel 10 here in upstate New York reporter. So, Andrew, how are you doing on this very busy Wednesday day?
Hey, Alex, I'm not doing too bad. Definitely a busy day, but most Wednesdays you tend to be kind of busy in the world of news, right in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, and I have to ask you, what is going on with this whole wall situation? I know Donald Trump came out today and spoke to some people with John Kelly, and Mike Pence was on the stage too, and he really announced his executive order to really put forth this whole wall, and that was his main focal point from his campaign. And he's been following some of his campaign promises only on day 3 now. So I want to ask you, what exactly did he talk about today in depth? And going forward, how much longer do you think it will be until we actually start seeing progress on the wall being built?
Alex, there's no shortage of news coming with any presidency, but boy, oh boy, Donald Trump or President Trump now has just been dominating headlines really since he first made those claims and announcements way back at the beginning of his campaign cycle about building that wall. That was really the thing that people latched onto, along with, of course, a lot of other things he said. He's definitely a soundbite machine. We've known that through the months and the years now that he's really been in this political arena. And today, I think when he says things like, let's make America great again, I think the reason people really got behind him in the polls, the reason he won this is because they think this is a guy who can get it done. He's a change. He's somebody who isn't just, an insider. He's somebody that they think they can get behind and really will be a man of his word. Whether that's true or not, we will have to wait to see. But right off the gate, hitting the ground running with this presidency, and it sounds like he's trying to do the things he said he's going to do, and that's the reason why a lot of Americans voted him into office.
Yeah, so it should be definitely interesting to see what exactly happens over the next, 4 years, if he stays in office. There's, of course, impeachment as well, but I don't think, I think the Congress really want to, create a better country and really, work on things that actually matter instead of go through that whole process right now, right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, even the people, and we've had rallies, of course, over the weekend with the Women's March, both, in Washington, D.C. and across the country, and even right here in Albany at the Capitol. Of course, people that are still not happy that this guy is in office, but I think there's a lot more people now who maybe didn't even vote for him who are saying, this is what it is right now, and we got to give this guy a chance to see what he can do. I mean, maybe this guy can get in there and get some things done. Only time will tell exactly what that is. But again, he's coming out hitting the ground running, like I said.
Yeah. And you know who is getting a lot of things done nowadays? You know who it is?
Who is getting things done?
Yeah.
No. Explain what you mean.
The New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. He faces the Falcons next weekend in the Super Bowl. So I had to ask you, what are your thoughts on this Super Bowl and possibly meaning Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl the year of the Deflategate suspension?
Well, Alex, as I just spoke with you and got to know you a little bit, I know you're a big sports guy as well as a news guy. And you know what? We're kind of from similar beginnings there because I am as well. I actually started out interning with sports in my hometown. And did a lot of sports things before I went into news, which I absolutely love news as well, but definitely always keeping an eye on the sports world. And I'll say this, I am a Buffalo Bills fan. So, it's been a rough, I know, I hear you. It's been a rough time to be a fan for the Bills, really for the past 2 decades. But Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are a big reason for that. They've dominated our division. They really dominated the whole NFL. Another Super Bowl ring for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick would be absolutely historic. These guys are clear-cut Hall of Famers, but this would really put them into that greatest of all time category if they were to win it. And then, of course, like you said, Deflategate. Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, last weekend opted out of being in New England for the AFC Championship game. He wanted to be with the NFC Championship game, maybe to avoid that kind of awkward situation of interacting with Tom Brady, the guy who he had suspended for the first 4 games of the year. But if Tom wins that Super Bowl, if the Patriots win it, then it'll be interesting to see that encounter. Goodell today saying that he'd be proud to give Tom Brady that trophy. But, of course, Roger Goodell, a good politician himself in the world of sports. So it sounds good to say that, but whether he means it or not, I think it's a different story.
Now, Andrew, you said you are a Bills fan, so I have to ask you, were you a Rex Ryan fan or no?
Well, Rex Ryan was entertaining, if nothing else. He came in there and he, from day one at that press conference 2 years ago, really got the fan base excited. He knows how to talk and get people excited. But the product on the field really hasn't been great. Going back to his days with the New York Jets, the first 2 years there, back in 2009 era, since then, his product on the field hasn't been great. So I liked what he was saying, but I don't think I ever was fully on board with Rex Ryan as a hire. And I think that I'm happy with the direction we chose to go with a guy here from Carolina. Sounds like he's a little bit more just business and less about trying to be a soundbite machine with the media.
Definitely. And Andrew, we'll switch gears and talk a little about your career. And I've had a lot of people on from Channel 10 over the past few months. Lydia Colbita was on, John Gray, and Liana Bonavita was on to talk some sports with me over the past few months. So, I love Channel 10. I watch it every night. I love Channel 10. It's a great news channel as well. So I have to ask you, what's it like working at News Channel 10 and really working with those people?
Alex, first of all, thanks for watching, and I know you are very on top of your sports and your news, and I really admire that. I think that attitude you have is going to take you really far to do whatever you want to do in life. As far as me working at News 10, I love it too. It's a great place to work. I'm from Rochester, New York originally. I've worked in a few different markets in New York State in news. I've worked in Rochester. I've worked in a water town up by kind of like the Canada border up north of Syracuse. And I've worked in Elmira, New York, which is like the southern tier area. And then now I have the opportunity to be in the New York State Capitol. I really feel like I've gotten to experience a lot of New York State and to be in the Capitol now where a lot of big things happen that affect the entire state is really cool. It's honestly, it's a privilege and an honor to get to report the news here. And the group of people I get to do it with, some of the people you mentioned, John Gray and Lydia, Liana, and the rest of them, there's a whole, I could keep going because everybody there is really passionate about what they do and really talented. And I'm just lucky. I'm a kid from Rochester that gets to sit in there and work with those very talented people.
Now, I have to ask you, how exactly did you want to become a news reporter?
Well, that's a good question, Alex. I actually, like I said, I started out with an interest in sports. I was a kid in high school. Had no idea what I wanted to do. I often found myself talking and telling stories and sometimes getting yelled at by teachers in class because I was talking and telling stories a little too much. But I remember I worked actually at a restaurant in Rochester, and the sports anchor, a guy I really looked up to, came in Rochester, and I had the opportunity to talk to him. And maybe I was 16 years old at the time, and he could see my excitement of talking with him, and so he gave me his card, told me to come in. He showed me around the news station in Rochester. I did that, maintained a relationship with him for the next few years, went away to college and decided I wanted to really focus on broadcasting. And again, had the opportunity to intern with him at that Rochester station. And then I ended up getting a job there, and I started to feel myself getting the pull to news because I love sports, but I started to get to work and shadow with some of the reporters, and I really liked the stories they get to tell too. So I ended up actually going in that direction. And there's not a day that goes by that I could imagine really doing anything else.
Yeah, and I have to share that, I had that same kind of story as you, I started out, really talking about sports on this show. And then, of course, with this 2016 campaign, it's like I want to talk with people about that because that is, something that, we might never even see in our lifetime again, something that, exciting and something new every day. And to really talk with some news people and reporters about the main questions that everyone are wanting to know. It's something special that I got to do, and who knows what the future holds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, you actually remind me a lot of myself, probably even a more driven version of myself. The fact that you have this show and you've been doing it for years, kudos to you on that. I think that is great. Mm-hmm. And you don't need me to tell you, but it's going to pay off for sure. You're gonna be networking. You already are. You'll go away to college, but you already have kind of the roots planted in this area. For some great opportunities. You got the right attitude, and I think your future is great. Who knows what the future holds, but I can take a guess and say it's going to be really good for you.
Thank you. Now, Andrew, final question before we wrap up this Feuzion News interview. Your most embarrassing moment on live television. I love asking this one. So.
Oh, man, how long you got? I could go all night. Let's see. I remember in my previous job in Elmira, I anchored a show, the 5:30 newscast there, and I wear contacts. But my contacts, I forgot the reason I couldn't wear them, or I had to take them out for something. And I ran down the set. Sometimes with news, you're putting together stories, you're running down. You're coming down to the minute, seconds. So I run down to the set, and I don't have my contacts in at the moment. And I forget that they're not in. My vision's not awful to the point where everything's blurry. But when I went down to the set to go begin anchoring the news, I couldn't see the prompter. So the stories start going, and I remember, oh no, like the music's playing, I can't see, right? I can't read the prompter. So I start just trying to go, and I'm squinting and just trying to go with it. But I can hear my director in my ear, like, is everything okay? So I go to a package, and luckily somebody's able to rush them in during the weather block, and I popped them in. But for the first few minutes of the show, I was reading the words wrong and squinting, and it was such an embarrassing way to start a show that I worked pretty hard on. To start it like that was goofy, and I learned a lesson too. Yeah. Always make sure you got those contacts in. Don't forget about them.
Yep, definitely. Well, hopefully that never happens again, right?
Yeah, for sure. I learned my lesson on that one.
Okay, Andrew, I want to say thank you for coming on my show tonight, and I hope to have you on again soon. And where can the fans follow you on Twitter, and if you put any articles up online?
Yeah, Alex, I want to say thank you for asking me to be on, and keep shooting for the stars. You're going places. I definitely respect the drive you have and what you're doing. For me, well, I'm on News 10. You can catch me nights, and I am on weekend mornings as well. So I'm a little bit all over the place, but you turn it on nights or weekends, you'll probably catch me telling the story. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, just follow @AndrewWTEN. Nice and easy. And I'd love to chat with anyone else. But really, Alex, it's about you. Keep up the great work. I'm proud of you. Like I said, you remind me a little bit of myself, but even a more driven version of me. So keep it up.
Thank you, Andrew. And thanks for coming on tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Alex.
Yep. Okay, Fuse Nation, I'm going live in about 3 minutes with Caitlin Ross. She is in Atlanta, Georgia right now. We'll be breaking down, unfortunately, the terrible events that happened with all the tornadoes in Albany, Georgia. And also we'll be talking some the excitement within the Atlanta Falcons. We'll be talking sports and news in 3 minutes. Thanks for watching. Be kind to one another. Follow me on Twitter @AlexFuse. And I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching.